Good morning, my locos. OG Locos back. Gonna do a little morning workout with OG Loco Four Brothers Diamond. This is my pure Eli Carver dog, or my pure Chinaman dog, depending how you look at it. I did a little pedigree breakdown on her a couple weeks ago. This dog is bred really, really nice. Didn't really realize how well bred she was until I broke down her genetics. So what direction I go with her, got a couple options. But she's still young and she loves to work. She's showing all the traits I like of the Eli Carver blood, the Chinaman blood in her. She carries predominantly the Epinette Earl Jr. blood with a little out on the Garner's Chemo Frisco blood. She likes to bite. She bites hard. For a little dog, too. She isn't that big. But she's been wanting to chatter. She's been chattering those teeth. I was like, oh, I need to come work her. But if you like that pure Chinaman, this is it. We'll be taking her to OG Locos Corvino probably next year, see what we get. So, I was talking to OG Family yesterday. He has a little mate sister of Diamond. And we were talking about, how he should breed her. And one of my buddies just picked up New Vines Marbles, who's the sire of OG Loco's Serenity. And they're in the same area. And I was like, man, if I were you, I would take Diamond's sister to Marbles. And then we get that Jeep Red Boy Rascal bred to the pure Chinaman, and then bring that back to something like Diamond here. So hopefully he goes that route. And I really like Serenity. I like what Marbles is producing. It's producing high caliber working dogs. I don't think you can go wrong with that breeding. And then we tighten it back up on Diamond. Take a male out of that. And that's something I hope we can pull off. Hopefully we can get it going. Good girl, good girl. This is Diamond, man. She's a rough little bitch. Give it a shake. Give it a shake. I can't wait to take her hunting. I think if she catches something, she's going to go crazy on it. Oh, girl. I'm pretty sure you're going to shake the shit out of it. That's that Eli Carver mouth, Chinaman mouth working on her. Come on. Get better grip. Good girl. Good girl. But her bred to Scarface would be interesting. I might do that someday down the road, because he bites real hard and he's rough like her too. So It'd be interesting to see what they would produce together. Good girl. Yeah, shake it for me. So it shakes, I give her a little slap. Hey, hey, come on. Good girl. But, you know, I've worked these dogs, and you get an eye for the different traits each of the bloodlines bring. And with her in a pure Eli Carver form, to me, she is working like what you would expect out of an Eli Carver dog. She bites hard, shakes hard, real rough, very focused dog. And that's the traits I think that were captured in her gene pool. And you see a little different traits in the other dogs I have, like the Red Boy, Old Family Reds, the Jeep Red Boy Rascal stuff. So as a breeder, when you're working your dogs and testing them, you're looking at what traits is this dog going to bring to the table in your breeding program, and who do you cross her with to get a better dog. So, you know, just looking on the way she's working and the traits she has, if I wanted to produce dogs more like enhance a hard mouth, the roughness, biting, shaking, it only makes sense to take her to Scarface, because that's what he's showing. You know, those are his traits. But if I wanted to add a little more wind, a little more deeper gameness, to where she doesn't use all her energy just biting hard and shaking, a dog that can pace itself, then I'd be looking at probably like a Bolio bred dog, a pure Red Boy dog, who's going to bring that long wind, deep gameness, and pace themselves. You know, especially the Bolio blood tends to know how to pace itself for the long distance. But these Eli dogs, high energy, they use a lot of energy. So, you know, as a breeder, you have to say, how do I offset that? How do I complement it? So that's why it's important, you know, to really work your dogs, bring them along, school them, hunt them, and get a good idea is like, regardless of pedigree, what is the dog itself bringing to the table? Because those are the genes that are going to get passed on. And then you look at the pedigree. Once the dog represents its pedigree, what direction do you want to go, move forward to produce better dogs? So her coloring's interesting. I always thought she took after the Rat Attack dog, the Epinette Rat Attack, who was a black and white dog. There's pictures of him He has the white and the high socks. And then I was figuring Rat Attack was pulling heavily from the Earl Jr. blood. That's where the black and white was coming from. Because most of the Chinaman stuff's black, not black and white. Then I saw a picture of Chinaman's mom. She was black and white, just like Diamond here. So because they're so heavily bred on Chinaman, and Rat Attack was heavily bred on Chinaman, Diamond's heavily bred on Chinaman, I'm wondering if this phenotype, this black and white coloring on her, is actually pulling from Chinaman's mom. You go see a picture of Chinaman's mom. Because when you look at those dogs, you wonder, where did the black and white come from? And the earliest example I saw was Chinaman's mom, which, because they're heavily line bred off Chinaman, she could be a throwback to Rat Attack, who was probably a throwback to Chinaman's mom, where this phenotype shows up. But good girl, I really like this dog. She's a good dog too. I mean, like a family dog with the heckle and jive personality. She's really good with my granddaughter and the family, and she's just a good family dog. But when you start working her, man, she's rough. She's a rough bitch. And I think the thinking is to keep bringing her along over the next year, because she might only be 14, 15 months old. I see where she's at 2.5 years old. I think she's going to be a lot harder biting and a lot rougher at 2.5 than she is now. But this is a good start. Good girl. Now she's eating. I'll see if I can pop it off of her. It's always hard. They're when they have fast mouths, you gotta really like time it to pop it out of their mouth when they're chewing on it. But with the fast mouth, they clamp real fast. And that's from the high twitch muscle in these dogs. Fast twitch muscling, which tends to go in these Eli dogs, gives them fast reflexes. But it's also the reason they expend a lot of energy, is that fast twitch muscle. You gonna let me have it? Huh? I think what I'm really happy about my yard is I got some really good young females that are all working. You know, they're just good for your future breeding program because they're naturally working on their own. So I could take any one of those females and breed them to the right male, and I think they're going to produce high caliber working dogs. And it's not like you have to sit on these dogs 2-3 years old to see if they're going to work. They're already working at a young age, and they only get better. You let me have it? Not gonna let go? No? Yeah, I'll give you a slap. I wanted to show this little bitch over here. If I could get this away from Diamond, but that's Brindlebell. She's coming along too. She's my 3/4 Mayday, 1/4 Old Family Red. But if I could get this away from Diamond, I'll go speak on her a little bit. Diamond, can I have it? Huh? Are you gonna let it go? No, you're probably not gonna let it go, huh? Good girl. See, she's holding it with her foot now because she knows I'm gonna try and pop it out of her mouth. She just holds it with her feet while she chews on it. Smart dog. Diamond. Diamond, look at me. I have to do it old-fashioned way. So you always want to work your good girl. See, good girl. Oh, I got kicked it out of the way. Good girl. So I always try to handle my dogs, get my hand in there when they're working, and pet them when they're working. Reinforces that that's what you want. Lets you get in there, get it out of their mouth, and makes them get used to you handling them when they're putting in work. This dog is ripped, very muscly. Huh? Good girl, huh? She don't got very big teeth. She does bite hard. All right, so we got that away from her. Let's go say hi to Brindlebell. I haven't shown her in a while. So Brindlebell, she's by OG Loco out of OG Loco's Cajun Bell. She's growing up on me. She's getting big. Hug her. Hug her. Still puppyish. She's only about 13, 14 months old, but she's still huge head on her. So I'm thinking of sending her down to be bred to Crazy Horse next year. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with Brindlebell. I kept her to replace her mom, Cajun Bell, but I think I'm going to breed Cajun Bell again. So then I was deciding if I do breed Cajun Bell again, what do I do with Brindlebell? And the thinking is taking her to Crazy Horse to produce that 7/8, 1/8 Old Family Red, 1/8 Mayday, and then taking one of those back to his brother Scarface. And I think that's the path I want to take with Brindlebell. But she is puppyish still compared to my other dogs, so I'm giving her time to mature before I decide to breed her. I want to see her see her work a little more. See what type of traits she has. Now, she is puppyish on my yard, but she's not puppyish with stray dogs. But to be on OG Loco's yard, they got to be hold their own with all dogs. She can't be submissive to any of them. But she's still a baby. You still want to be a baby, huh? But to me, she actually pulled a lot from the Mayday buck blood. She doesn't look like my Puro family reds, even though she's 3/4. She's a little taller, a little longer, which I believe she's pulling from the Tombstone Bolio blood in her through buck. That's just my perception, opinion. As compared to, if you look at my other dogs, she looks different than them. Come here, girl. But I do want to take her hunting. I think let's just see what's up. Let's just take you hunting and see what's up. See if you hunt. Good girl. But her mom was like this, and this is why I'm patient with her. Cajun Belle is a destroyer on my yard, her mom. But she really didn't become one till she was like 2.5. Up until then, she was very much puppyish too. So these sometimes these old family reds, they just take a little longer to mature. They stay in a puppy stage for a while. And she still wants to be a pleaser. You're not like Diamond, who just grabs and shakes the shit out of everything. You want that human attention. Good girl. Good girl. So we'll see what we do with her. I don't know. Just right now, just letting her cook. Just letting her get fine. Let her mature. Just let her cook a little more and see what's up in a bit. A couple more months. Probably this winter, huh? But yeah, this is OG Loco's Brindle Belle. And she got some good teeth on her. Who was showing me teeth the other day that they were big? I think it's Serenity. I was looking at Serenity teeth. She had some big old hangers on her. I think Corvino did too. I have to go look at them again. Let's see if I can walk over there and say hi to them before I get off this live. I think everyone wants a taste of the tug. Yeah, keep your eyes out on this bitch. One of the things that Earl Tudor said he liked, he liked the Henry dogs, the black dogs with the red eyes. And to be honest with you, I've never seen a dog with red eyes. But I've seen dogs like Diamond here. They have the red around the eyes. I don't know if that's what he was talking about. But when she's working, that red gets really bright red around her eyes. Let's see. Here's OG Local Scarface. I don't think I work. Bingo's been wanting to work. Let's go work Bingo. Bingo's just itching. I worked you the other day. I'll come work you later. I've been liking working these two bitches together because Dora, so Dora is 7/8 Old Family Red, 1/8 Mayday. So very similar breeding to Brindle Belle that we just saw, but you can see she looks a lot different than Brindle Belle. She's younger than Brindle Belle, and she looks more like my old Wolf Family Reds, the way she's built. And for being a younger dog, she's actually not as puppyish. So this is what I was trying to say. Brindle Bell is taller, longer, leaner, which I think she's pulling more from that Tombstone Bolio blood in her, versus Dora, who's tighter bred on the Old Family Red, tends to look more like my Old Family Red bred. But she's the 7/8, 1/8. And she's only 13 months. So you get a good idea of the difference in appearance and working ability, the 3/4, 1/4 versus the 7/8, 1/8. When you're getting 7/8, 1/8, like Dora here, they're pulling more and more from the Old Family Red genes that they're pretty close to pure. You know, when you get like 31, 32 Old Family Red and 132 out, that's pretty much a pure dog already. So if I bred her to OG Scooby or Scarface, she would produce 15, 16th Old Family Red, 1/16 Mayday out. So that'd be pretty tight already on the Old Family Red blood. But I think she's pregnant by her grandfather, OG Weddle Loco. I don't know. I won't know till this month, but she looks like she's getting boobies. But I thought she was due like end of December. Hard to tell if she took or not. But we'll see. I guess I'll know by the end of next month whether I got pups or not. Good girl. Let's work this net over here. So this one is just Miss Bingo, my 50/50 dog. She's Red Boy, Old Family Red. And Bingo is always like this. Bingo got energy for days. And I believe that's what the Red Boy blood brings to the Old Family Red. You get a very high energy dog because Bingo is definitely my most hyper dog. It's next to Corvino. Corvino's hyper too, but Corvino don't have any Old Family Red in him. I mean, he doesn't have any Red Boy in him. He's 3/4 Old Family Red, 1/4 Chinaman. But Bingo's 50/50 Red Boy, 50/50 Old Family Red, and she is very hyper dog, very hot. Huh. Yeah, I know you want it. There you go, you got it. And you cannot bring anything out. Shoot, once I step out of the house with a tug, she's screaming. She wants it. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to take Bingo back to Scooby, OG Scooby first. Just because Scooby's, I looked at his pet, he's 8 years old. And if I don't do that breeding soon, I'm not sure how much longer I'll have Scooby around. I just want to make sure I get some pups off Scooby and Bingo before Scooby can't produce no more. Good girl. So this is where they work differently. So if you guys saw Diamond, she bites hard, shakes the shit out of it. Where Bingo bites and she tugs, she like tries to jerk. So they work differently, different type of traits. And you get to see when you're working all these dogs, they're all slightly a little different. So as a breeder, you get to know your dogs, see their working abilities, their working traits, their personalities. Then you see what are they going to bring to the table for your breeding program, and how do you want to move forward with them. So I think anything I bring Bingo to is going to be hot. It's going to be hyper. It's going to be high energy because that's who Bingo is. And she's a very game dog. You can't let her loose. But I took Bingo hunting a couple weeks ago. She did real good. I mean, she listens. She stays by my side. She wants to please. So to me, that's the old family red trait in her. She was very much listening to me. Good girl, but that's the jerking I'm talking about. She bites and jerks. I think if we show, maybe I'll show Scarface, you'll see what I'm talking about, where he shakes like Diamond did. Good girl. Can I have it back? So I try to work these dogs at least once a day, but preferably twice a day, once in the morning, once in the late afternoon before I feed. It keeps them mentally sharp, mentally sound, so they're not bored. And you don't have to work them long. You know, I try to work them 5-10 minutes each, and make them wanting more. So when I do come back out, they're like ready to go, because you take it away with them still wanting more. So here's something I want to show them on Bingo, because I see it on my peers. Okay, so the old Klaus dogs were known to be able, the term that was used to describe them, they could breathe underwater. Okay, they had a lot of wind and very game dogs. That's what they were known for, the pure Klaus stuff. My dogs have a lot of Klaus blood in them. Not only the pure stuff, but the red boy blood has Klaus stuff in it too, behind I think both Red Boy and Bass's Cleo. When you look at Bass Cleo, she had some Klaus Stabber in her too. So there's Klaus in both her Red Boy blood and in the OG Loco Old Family Red blood. So when you look at her nostrils, you know, I always see this, and I think a good picture is Patrick's Tater. If you get a look at Patrick's Tater picture, he has huge nostrils on him. So when I'm working and these dogs' mouths are shut, they're sucking major oxygen through those nostrils. If a dog can't breathe and it doesn't have oxygen, it can't work. Okay, so a key to these dogs working, especially when they're in hold, is they're able to suck oxygen through those nostrils. So I always look at these dogs' nostrils, especially when they're working. Do they got nice wide nostrils? Are they able to suck in oxygen? It's like a carburetor, you know, on a race car. You need oxygen to create combustion to go faster. If a dog can't breathe, it can't work. And I think that's coming from the Klaus blood, when they said those dogs were known to breathe underwater, that they had good nostrils. They were able to suck in large quantities of oxygen when they were working, and they could stay in hold and breathe through their nose because they're sucking large quantities of oxygen. So that is something I see, which I believe is coming from the Klaus blood in the dogs. And that's an important trait for working dogs, is if you want them to work, they could be game, but if they can't breathe, they'll gas out on you. So you want to make sure that they can breathe. So let's see. Let's go see Cajun Belle. So Cajun Belle is a typical pure OG Loco family red. Was working. Belle's gonna bite and jerk, just like Bingo was. Oh, girl. And she goes, I don't know what, you can see her start chattering. Here's a dog that she will grab anything that gets near her, like she can't help it, because her teeth will start chattering. Like she gotta bite it, she gotta bite it. She don't know what to do. She gotta bite it. Well, that's his Belle. Okay, there we can have it. So she's gonna hold back and she's gonna try to jerk this off the toe. So she's working different than what we saw Diamond, than we saw on Bingo. But look at her nostrils. She got big nostrils, just like Bingo does. I think her nostrils are bigger than Bingo's. Okay, and she's the Puro family red, so she's sucking major oxygen through those nostrils. And she has her mouth shut. So she's not breathing through her mouth, she's breathing through her nose. And by doing that, she's able to stay in whole and get good wind and good oxygen in her. And I believe, like I said earlier, that's coming from the Klaus blood. And the harder you work these dogs, especially when they get tired, you can see those nostrils are flaring. They're sucking in major oxygen. So that's a trait on pit bulls I don't think a lot of people pay attention to. I do. Is not only are they game and, are they have good work ethic, they got good bone, they got good hide, are they smart, intelligent? I look, can they breathe? They got good nostrils, good oxygen. And how do they use those traits when they're working? But she's a very powerful female. So, OG family, here's one out, little carrot for anybody looking for a pure OG Loco dog. Cajun Belle is by Jacob's Little Rusty. He is a proven game dog, and he's like 8 years old now. He's over in Louisiana. And I really like Rusty. So Belle's by Rusty. They just picked up OG Loco's Ivy, yesterday to breed to Little Rusty. Ivy is by OG Scooby, I think out of Jinx. And they're going to do that breeding that'll breed Little Rusty to Ivy to produce pure OG Loco family reds. And that's going to be interesting because I don't think Rusty's been bred a lot, but what I have seen off him is working. So if we can get more dogs off Rusty, that if he can produce dogs like Cajun Belle, hard, rough, hard biting game dogs, I think that's going to be a good asset to the pure OG Loco family reds and getting them out to the public. And then Belle here, supposed to go to a pure Colby dog next year. One of Pete Colby's last male over in Alabama. That's still the goal. She has about 2 more breedings left in her before she's done. I think she's had 3 litters already. One by OG Kratos, OG Scooby, and Weddle Loco. So she's had 3. And she's only 6.5. So Possibly 1 or 2 more breedings left. But definitely do not want to miss her next one because she's getting up in age. If I can't get the Colby done, I might take her back to her son. We'll see. To Scarface. I don't know. We'll see where I'm at when she comes in season. But ideally, she'll go back to Alabama to be bred to the Colby dog. But she has that classic 44 Magnum build. It's the way those dogs were. They were very ruggedly built, heavy boned, heavy hide, heavy muscle, just very thick bone in the skull, very thick bone on the muzzle. And I think the reason it worked with the Chinaman stuff and the Mayday stuff is you already have a dog built like a tank that could take punishment from a hog. So when you add the Eli or the Mayday or any hard biting dog to it, you're just giving it more biting power. And now they're using all these tools. They have, the rugged body to take punishment, but then they have the arsenal, the hard mouth, finishing ability to deliver punishment to a hog. And that's what we saw with the crosses. The crosses started, they brought that Chinaman and Mayday mouth and were just catching and finishing hogs fast. And a lot of it comes from the way these old family reds were built. So that's Cajun Belle. We're doing a lot of line breeding off her. I got her daughter, I got her granddaughter, I got a son of hers. So you'll see, ideally, here's my thinking. I bred a lot of dogs to get the dogs I have today. But I only line breed off the best. So I line breed off the best and I fuck the rest. So for the best dogs that are working, that meet all the traits that I'm trying to breed for, and they meet my standards. Now it's like, and I think I said this before, it's like in the wild. Those are the genes that are passed on to the next generation. The ones that are the strongest and the fittest and have the best genes are the only ones that pass on their genes. So I try to use that philosophy in my yard. I don't fuck with dogs that are not the best representative of my breeding program because they're not the best genes to move forward with. But Belle here is one of the best females I've had. So it only makes sense to line breed off her and move her genes forward for future generations. And I think by doing that approach, pick the best and fuck the rest, the dogs get better. They will get better. I'll have females line bred off Belle in a couple generations that are better than Belle. And that's the goal of breeding. You want dogs that are better than the ones you started with. And here's this guy. Are you on speed or coke? I don't know, man. You talking to me? You're a talker, huh? Yeah. Corvino might be my most athletic dog. He does some serious, he got some hops on him. And when I'm not working him, he trims my trees. He grabs the branches. But I've noticed that about Corvino. He has a lot of athletic ability. Oh, buddy, you want to go hunting? So Corvino's really matured on me. The 3/4 old family red, 1/4 Chinaman, double bred. On the bottom side, garners chemo. So he's double bred on the chemo dog, which is a pure Chinaman with the off the Frisco's blood. So breeding him to Diamond, probably next year. I think what we're gonna get is Diamond's gonna bring that hard, rough, shaking ability, and he's gonna bring really high energy. He's a very smart dog. He loves to work, and I don't believe he has the mouth of Diamond, so Diamond's going to add more mouth. But he definitely has longer legs. He's built more for working, in my opinion. He's a taller, longer, leaner dog. But look at his nostrils too, man. He got some nostrils on him. Which I'm saying that's going back to the Klaus blood. Although he's biting a lot harder. But you see, he jerks. That's the 44 Magnum, the old family red. He's not shaking like Diamond. So what I want to do is bring back more of that Eli Carver rough shaking. So by breeding her to Corvino, I should bring that back into the pups. That's how you breed. You just work your dogs, see what their traits are, strengths and weaknesses, and then you look at which ones do I cross them on to get a better dog. Is because he has great nostrils, he has great wind, he's built more for working because he's taller, longer limb, longer, leaner. That's going to complement Diamond physical structure. So he's going to probably lengthen the pups, add more leg, add more nostril, more wind. And he has a decent mouth. And she's going to bring that hard, heavy, rough, hard biting mouth to the pup. So it'll be interesting on the cross, see what we get. I gotta let him chew on it. Oh, he won't let me have it back. He got a little mark on his leg, but nothing's been near him. I think it's just a sore. So Corvino, look, he wags his tail. He knows when I'm talking to him. Corvino, hey, you gonna look at me? Corvino. See if I can pop it out of his mouth. Oh, he's not gonna let me. So we're gonna do a homemade flirt pull. A homemade spring pull. So what I do, since I don't have a spring pull on this chain, I just wrap my tug that has a spring on it over a tree limb, and he gets a mini spring pull. So I want him working off his hind feet, builds up good stamina, gives him good balance. And so I try to mix it up. I do a lateral work with the tug where they're pulling laterally on it. And then I try to do a vertical work with like a spring pull where they're pulling vertically on it. And you'll see with some dogs that they're more comfortable pulling laterally than vertically. And some dogs are more comfortable pulling vertically than laterally. So you try to, it's like writing with your left and right hand. Is you try to get a dog that's comfortable doing it both ways, and if they have to adapt and change styles, they're comfortable doing it. They're not one-dimensional. So I try to get them all to work vertically and then work horizontally. Good boy. He's actually working a lot harder than I've seen him in a while. He's going to be 3 in January. So this is where patience These dogs, Corvino took a little longer to mature. So if you're looking at Brindle Bell, I said she was real puppyish, like at a little over a year old. Corvino was like that, but he's a different dog at 2.5 than he was at a year old. And I believe that's what will happen with Brindle Bell. They take a little longer to mentally mature, but when they do, they're tremendous working dogs. Look how tall, man. He's probably what, 3.5 feet tall on your hind legs? Look at you, man. I never knew where he got his height. Kratos had good leg on him, but the Chemo dog and Dynamite, they were short dogs. So I was just like, where? And then Knox, his great grandfather, Knox by Chemo, he was a tall dog. He had legs. So when we bred Knox to Kratos's daughter, the leg was there off of Knox and Kratos. But when you look at what's behind Knox, Dynamite and Chemo, they were short, stocky dogs. So I was like, where did this come from? But here's my opinion, my perception. OG Knox's bottom side was Bobby Peru off the El Negro dog. And Bobby Peru, at least from the pictures, looked like he had some leg on him. So I always felt OG Knox got his leg from Bobby Peru's side of the family versus Chemo and Dynamite. And then he got the leg definitely from Kratos on the sire side. So I can't be honest with you. I don't know if I've had a dog as tall as Corvino. You know, I've had dogs heavier than Corvino, stockier. I don't think I've had one as tall as him. Because he's a pretty tall dog. So, let me wrap this up with this net over here. So this is Jeep Red Boy Rascal. This is OG Loco's Sergeant Serenity. So I started off this video that Diamond's litter mate, Glorilla, she's in Louisiana. They're asking me, who should I breed her to? I was like, breed her to New Vine Marbles, who's the sire of Serenity. I love Serenity. She's a working monster. And Marbles is now in Louisiana, owned by my buddy Perk. And he's heavily bred on the Champion Brick blood, which is, Champion Brick is by Grand Champion Blackjack. I think Brick mom was a pure red boy. So the difference between Brick and Woodall's Weird Jack, she's line bred Woodall's Weird Jack and Champion Brick. They're half brothers. But Woodall's Weird Jack mom, I believe, was pure Jeep off the Long's Weirdo stuff. And then Champion Brick, his half brother, was by Blackjack, had a pure red boy mom. So slightly different. And I believe the Marbles stuff, Marbles is the dog that's like 5 times Schoolboy's Big Red in his pedigree. So he has that Jeep Red Boy, heavy dose of the Jeep Red Boy in him. So I was telling my buddy, breed Glorilla to Serenity's sire, and now that gives us that Chinaman, pure Chinaman bred to this Jeep Red Boy Rascal stuff. And now we have options that we could take a male pup back to Serenity or a male pup back to Diamond down the road and keep the family program going. That's going to make them Jeep Red Boy Rascal with a big shot of pure Chinaman. So that's what I was thinking. I hate giving her this because she's one of those dogs. It really takes a half hour to get it away from her. But then I feel bad, like I didn't give her a taste. But we'll see how she works. Her head is just really filled out. Look at her head, man. It's like really filled out this last year. She got good nostrils on her too. I don't think her nostrils are as big as Cajun Bells, but she has good sized nostrils on her. Another thing I look at. Okay, so you're going to see how Serenity works. She's a little different. And she's a bite and hold dog, a lot like Diamond. You know, you'll see that they bite and hold and don't let go. Look at that head on her, man. That's like a man. She's just got a huge head on her. Everything I'm hearing off her siblings is working. I heard like everything Marbles is producing is working. Breeding her to Corvino next year, I think does the same thing I want to do with the Diamond litter. He's going to add more leg, longer dogs, more built for working because she's sort of a stockier dog. So she's going to have more power. So ideally what you want to do is bring the traits of her, cross it with Corvino, and you get the best of both parents. A dog that has the best of both mom and dad. But she, for a female, is built like a male. She's just powerful. But this is what I see with at least Serenity. She stays in hold. She of all my dogs besides Diamond, she will stay in hold. Like for a very long time. It's really hard to get tugs away from her once she's like you know who was like that too was OG Knox. OG Knox, he would bite and hold and he wouldn't release. So he wouldn't work different holds. He would just stay in hold, whatever he got. I see a lot of that with Serenity here. You know, she's like that. She stays in hold. But look at the jaws on her, man. Just crazy. She's working. Oh, girl. She's a straight up bulldog, too. But Serenity's always been like that. It's like a lot of my dogs, like when they're pups, I work with them a lot. And a lot of them want that personal affection, attention from me. They'll come up, lay up in my lap. They want to be petted and snuggled. And Serenity has always been like, I want to work. So we used to play like tug of war when she was a pup. And she'd come at me and I'd grab her by the ear and I'd shake her and I'd throw her back. And then she would get up and she'd come right back at me. She never really wanted hugs and loves. She just wanted to work. And that's who she is today. She wants to work. I mean, she's very loving with me, but she's like, hey, I don't need affection. Bring me a tug. I want to work. And that's Serenity. You know, it's, if I wasn't into the Old Family Red family so deep, I would probably line breed off these Jeep Red Boy Rascal dogs, create my own family. But I really like her. That's how much I like her. But I'm committed to Old Family Red. I got my program. I think her crossing Scarface would be interesting down the road. But first is Corvino. And then we'll see where we go with her after that. I think ideally, though, when I'd get a male off Marbles to Glorilla to breed back to both Diamond and Serenity, and that's my family. So we'll see if we can pull that off. But
She's one of those dogs, like, I got a lot of dogs that you're just confident. If you go out hunting, these dogs are all business. You're not really worried what you run into. She's one of them. She's one, like, whatever we run into, going to feel sorry for them, and I think here's the progression of my dogs. All these dogs I have here, I would say when I started breeding again in 2013, 2014, I didn't feel anything could really hunt with them except maybe a true fast lane bred dog, like something like Serenity, something like OG Knox, the Pure Chinaman, or the Pure Mayday stuff. That those dogs those family of dogs that were truly fast lane hog hunting dogs. But where I'm at today, I have all the confidence in the world. It doesn't matter that these dogs will hunt. They've gotten that much better. And it's almost to the point now that it wouldn't even be fair unless it was you're hunting with a fast lane bred dog, because a regular hunting with a regular pit bull or just a non-working line can't keep up with these dogs. These dogs are just too athletic, too game, too hard biting. And that is the evolutionary process I've seen in my dogs today. Is they'll hunt, they'll bang, they'll get out there, they'll catch whatever you turn them loose on, hog, mountain lion, bear. They don't care, and they got the tools to take care of business. I mean, they got the mouth, they got the ability, they got the body, they got the bone. They could take the punishment and then they could deliver it. So I think when you get your family of dogs to that level, then your question is how do I fine tune it? Because you already got the working elements there. It's like, okay, so how do I fine tune what I have? Because it's all working at a very high level now. Do I add more mouth? Do I add more wind? Do I add more ability? You now have to be very selective on your crosses so you produce better dogs. How do you make them better? And it doesn't even have to be a whole lot better. It could just be slightly better. You're just adding something new to your arsenal that you didn't have. And that's where family breeding works. So when I blend Serenity into my old family reds, I will have old family reds in about 5 years that look like my Pure, but work like Serenity. They're going to have a lot of their traits, especially if I line breed off them. If you look at her headshot, look at Patrick's taters. It's like, she got Klaus way farther back Klaus in her than in my old family reds. But, a lot of these dogs are bred real similar. I mean, if you really get down to it, they're all line bred. They're going to have pretty much old family red, Klaus, Tudor's Daibo, blended in their gene pool, but maybe blended differently. And I don't care what family of dogs it is. It's going to be any fast lane working dog is going to go back to generally the same family of dogs, because those were the dogs that were working. And those were the family of dogs that were used to build the family of dogs we have today. They're just blended differently. And I'm seeing that more and more in the pedigrees and the gene pools, heavy doses of Klaus. A lot of Klaus way back in those dogs, especially blended with the old family red nose, the Leitner blood, and then later they started adding the Tudor Daibo blood to it. So you'll see, and then Colby. So you'll see those 4 families if you really break down your pedigree, they're predominantly going to be those 4 families mixed differently in your dog's genetics. And to me, that's why they're working. That's why all these families are working. So look at those nostrils. She's sucking oxygen. That's what you want. You want them to keep that mouth shut and breathing with that mouth shut. And that's like your carburetor right there. She's going to get good oxygen in the bloodstream. It's going to keep her cool. She'll be cooling down her system. It's just stay and hold and continue to work. She ain't going to let this go. I don't even know how I'm going to get it out away from her. You going to let it go? And I'll tell you why I picked Serenity out of her litter. I think her litter was predominantly black. There was 2 like her. And it had to go back to something Floyd Boudreau said on these Eli bred dogs. So these dogs have a heavy dose of Eli through cheap in them. And they got a little Chinaman in there too. But that Eli blood off the Honey Bunch blood, Floyd said, if you ever get a red-nosed Eli dog, keep it. That was my thinking because I had my choice. So he knows something when that recessive trait pops up in your Eli dogs. There's something behind that. And if you look at the way Floyd bred a lot of his early dogs, he crossed a lot of them on Ross Red Devil. He crossed some of them on Killin' Sid, which was Hemphill Klaus. And he used that blood crossing his heavy Eli dogs, produce some very good dogs off that. So he knows something of why he valued a red nose dog that came out of Eli bred dogs. So that was my thinking. Either way, I like her, but I'm glad I got her. She's a fun dog. She's not going to let me have this back. You let me have it back? No, so she's one of those, like, when she catches it, she's like, she'll try to run away with it. But then I got to make sure she don't swallow it because she's trying to swallow it right now. Come on, don't swallow it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Look like a lion, huh? Lion head on her. So anyway, people, just want to wish you guys a happy morning. I got to try to get this away from her. I'll try to do a live this weekend on YouTube again. I don't know, who am I going to do next? I don't know, maybe I'll bring Brindle Bell up. Yeah. I think I'll do a little discussion on Brindle Bell and talk about the Michael Myers influence in my dog, my Mayday Old Family Red Dogs, and show how it's actually Patrick's Goldie blood in Michael Myers. So if you guys get a chance, research Patrick's Goldie. She's the dam of Patrick's Red Baby, who's the dam of Patrick's Lady in Red. But Patrick's Goldie was a Hemphill Klaus dog. Heavy Klaus with the Hemphill out on the Skaggs Firefly, which is the reason I believe that the Michael Myers blood clicked with my Hemphill Klaus blood. because Michael Myers was like 30 times Red Baby, and her dam was Patrick's Goldie. So that blood is highly concentrated in Michael Myers. And I think it just clicked with the Klaus Stabber, Skaggs Firefly blood that's in my dogs. And I'll try to break that down. And I really believe that's why these Mayday Old Family Red dogs are working on my yard. It's because the Michael Myers blood's clicking with my old family, the OG local Old Family Reds, which are heavily bred Hemphill Klaus with a large shot of Klaus Stabber and Skaggs Firefly in the pedigree. Anyway, I got to get this away from her. Got things to do today, otherwise I'll be here all day. So check it out, Saturday, OG Loco's Old Family Red YouTube channel. I'll probably feature OG Loco's Brindle Bell and break down her pedigree and breeding on the Mayday Old Family Red stuff. I'm out, man. Take care.